Over the course of the next few months, Thomas, Danny, and Colton got into a tight routine. Summer school, then research. Once summer school was over, it became soccer practice, then research. When the new school year started, it became classes, girls, and research. Colton had binders and binders of information. Each binder focused on a different aspect of space, history of meteor impacts, the apocalypse, global upheaval, self-sustaining farming, and self-defense. They went down a few rabbit holes, got off track every now and then, but they worked. Anything they thought was relevant at the time they learned. It all came to a head when Thomas got a phone call. "Hello?" asked Thomas. "Hi, Thomas. It's me, Dr. Johansson. I'm here with Dr. Saito, and if you have time, we would like to chat." Thomas looked at the clock in the hallway. "Yeah, I have about 7 minutes between classes. Does that work?" "Yes, that should be fine. Dr. Saito and myself have spent the last few months since we met going over the data of this year's Torrid event. Can you meet virtually to discuss it all?" "Absolutely," replied Thomas. "We will send you a link. Please, send the link to the others. It is vital that they come too." Thomas hung up his phone and ducked into the library as the tardy bell for his next class rang. "Looks like I'm going to be late to math again." He immediately got a notification that a new email had arrived from Dr. Johansson. He opened the email and copied the meeting link. Then he sent the link to Red, telling him that they had a meeting tonight. Within seconds, Thomas received a thumbs up from Red. That was fast. I wonder if it'll actually show, he thought. Finally, he clicked on Camilla. He paused a second before he pasted the link. "Wow, April was the last time we talked," he said to himself. He took a deep breath and sent the link. He hesitated before closing the app to see if she would write back. Nothing. Later that evening, Danny and Colton came busting through the back door of Thomas's house. "Hey, don't you guys knock?" asked Mr. Moore as he was preparing dinner. "Sorry, Mr. Moore, is Thomas here?" asked Danny. "Yes, he's in his room. And Danny, Thomas said he shared his secret with you guys. Can you please keep it quiet?" "Yes, of course, Mr. Moore. We won't tell anyone. We will be keepers too," he said with a smile. "Funny, Danny. Tell Thomas dinner will be ready in 15 minutes. There's enough for both of you." "Yes, sir. Thank you," replied Danny as they ran upstairs into Thomas's room. "Your dad looks tired," said Colton as he placed his backpack on Thomas's bed. "He makes dinner and leaves to spend the night at the hospital," exclaimed Thomas. "I don't think he sleeps much." "Sorry to hear. He said dinner will be ready in 15 minutes, by the way. Now, why did you text us 911 in all caps to meet you after school at 6 o'clock? And to bring the binders?" "I'm meeting with everyone in a couple of minutes. I needed you guys here," answered Thomas. Thomas positioned himself at his computer and opened up the meeting link. Danny sat right next to Thomas, making sure he wasn't visible in the camera. Colton jumped on Thomas's bed and got out all the binders. All of a sudden, Camilla appeared on Thomas's screen. A nervous feeling rocked throughout Thomas's body when he saw her face. Danny started elbowing him. "Dude, that's her," he yelled. A big smile appeared on Camilla's face as she unmuted herself. "Oi, Tomas." He looked down at the screen and noticed that his computer microphone was on. His face started to turn red as he glanced over at Danny. "Funny," Thomas replied as he tried to play it off. "Tell your friend Danny I said hi as well," she said with a smile. "I'm guessing that was him?" For a brief moment, it was just the two of them, looking at each other with only smiles. Suddenly, Dr. Saito and Dr. Johansson got on the call, breaking the awkward connection between the two. Red finally joined the call from a beach chair somewhere in the world. "Oh, Marco's his first name," thought Thomas. "Looks like everyone's here. First of all, thank you for joining us tonight. I've had the pleasure of working with some of you on this call already. For others, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Johansson, the director of the CERN Institute in Geneva, Switzerland. Also on this call is Dr. Saito, the director of the Space and Planetary Science Department at the University of Tokyo. We have been working for months together developing a plan to tackle what could be a monumental event in Earth's history with this year's Torrid meteor stream. Dr. Saito and myself wanted to meet to discuss our findings and what we feel like should be our next steps as a team. Now, we understand you have the final say in everything, but with our research, we feel like we can be a great resource to you all. At this time, I will toss it over to my colleague, Dr. Saito, as he discusses with you what we have found. Thank you, Dr. Johansson. Once again, I am Dr. Saito, the director of the Space and Planetary Science Department at the University of Tokyo. I've spent my entire career studying the universe, and I have never seen an event that we are about to see. From our calculations, we have 9 meteors expecting to make an impact on Earth. Each one ranges in different sizes, but if any of them make contact, Earth, as we know it, would forever be changed and humankind could very well be extinct. But our team has been studying the possible locations of each meteor's impact site on Earth, and we feel we have picked the best locations on Earth where you can go to stop what is coming. Dr. Saito displayed a map on the screen. The first, the Atacama Desert in North Chile. The second, the Gobi Desert in North China. The third, Follandet National Park in Norway. And the fourth, Stewart Island off the coast of New Zealand. Colton started ruffling through his binders as the names of the locations were being read aloud. He stopped on the map he created with 7 possible locations. For the best viewing of the Taurid meteor stream, he jumped up on the bed and shouted, "Let's go!" as the 4 locations were marked on his map. The reason for these locations is 1, they will allow us to cover different areas of the Earth, and 2, the light pollution in these locations is very minimal. It will allow you to have a great visual of the night sky. "What about those in the daytime?" asked Thomas as he unmuted his microphone. Great question. Today is September 23rd. In a few short weeks, the Earth's orbit will enter into the meteor stream. Although these 9 objects will be coming from different parts of the stream, we anticipate that on October 31st will be the best date where every meteor will be accessible. That gives us a little over 1 month until the date. 2 weeks from today, we will meet back in CERN. There, we will go over your resources for the event. Thomas and Camilla generously helped us a few months back. As we started thinking about what this all would look like, we also have some tools to support those who will be battling in the daytime. So, in the meantime, over the next 2 weeks, finalize any plans you have set. We will meet on October 7th in Switzerland to go over our final preparation. Is everyone okay with that? Asked Dr. Saito. Heads nodded across the screen. Sounds good. Until then, and keepers, Godspeed. Thomas went to close the link when a number caught his eye in the participant icon of the meeting. 6. He looked down at his hands and started counting. Dr. Saito, Dr. Johansson, Camilla, Marco, and me. Who's the 6th person, he thought.